If you're over 60, here's a number worth sitting with. By the time a struggling kidney shows up on a routine blood test, you may have already lost a third of your filtering capacity. No pain, no warning, nothing. Your kidneys don't have nerve endings that scream when something's wrong. They just quietly do less and less until a lab result tells you the news. And here's the part almost nobody explains to you in a 12-minute office visit. Your kidneys do their deepest repair work while you sleep, in a window when your blood pressure is supposed to drop and the strain on your filters finally lets up. What you eat in the last hour before bed either supports that window or works against it. Tonight I'm going to walk you through 8 fruits that support your kidneys specifically in that overnight window. A few will be familiar, a couple will surprise you, and one of them is a fruit that people with kidney concerns have been warned off completely. I'm going to give you both sides of that one honestly, because you deserve the whole picture, not a headline. Stay to the end because I'll give you a 2-minute bedtime blend that combines the safest of these into one glass, and a 5-step plan you can start tonight, not next month, tonight. Before anything else, I want to say this directly to whoever's watching and quietly worried they've already waited too long. You haven't. Kidneys that have lost some ground can still be stabilized, held steady for years, by taking pressure off the filters and giving them the right support. That window doesn't close at 60 or 70 or later. Keep that in mind as we go, because none of what follows is about fear. It's about what's actually in your control. What's actually happening inside your kidneys. Once you understand the mechanics, every fruit on this list will make sense, so bear with me for a minute. Each kidney holds roughly 1 million microscopic filters called nephrons. At the center of each one sits a tiny cluster of blood vessels called a glomerulus. That's the actual filter, the part that pulls waste out of your blood and keeps what your body needs. You're born with every nephron you'll ever have. Your body doesn't make new ones. So after 60, this whole conversation comes down to one thing: protecting the filters you've still got. 2 things wear those filters down faster than anything else. The first is pressure. When blood pressure stays elevated, it hammers against those delicate vessels the way water pounds through a hose cranked wide open. Over years, that scars the filters shut, one by one, permanently. The second is oxidative stress. Think of it as a slow rust forming inside your cells, the same process that turns a sliced apple brown on the counter. A kidney under constant pressure and heavy oxidative load is a kidney quietly losing nephrons, year after year. Here's the piece that gets left out of almost every conversation about this. Your blood pressure isn't meant to sit flat all day and night. In a healthy body, it drops 10 to 20% overnight. Researchers call it nighttime dipping, and it's the kidney's recovery window. People whose blood pressure fails to dip at night lose kidney function measurably faster. That's established, not speculative. So the job of what you eat in that last hour of the evening is simple. Help the pressure drop, slow the rusting, and don't hand the kidneys extra work right when they're trying to recover. Every fruit on this list earns its place by doing one of 3 things overnight: delivering antioxidants that fight that oxidative damage, carrying plant compounds that help relax blood vessels and support the natural nighttime dip, or working upstream, on the gut, on uric acid, on the urinary tract, to lighten the load before it ever reaches the filters. Almost all of them are low in sugar and light enough to eat before bed. Almost. There's one real exception, and I'll be straight with you about it when we get there. Number 1, blueberries. This is the cleanest place to start. The deep blue color comes from a pigment called anthocyanin, and anthocyanins are among the most potent antioxidants ever measured in food. For your kidneys, the link is direct. Anthocyanins help neutralize the oxidative stress that scars those tiny filters, and research consistently connects diets rich in these pigments to lower inflammation and healthier blood vessels. Your kidneys are, at their core, an organ built out of blood vessels. Protect the vessels, protect the filters. Blueberries also earn the evening slot because they're low in both potassium and sodium, which makes them safe even for kidneys already under some strain. Hold on to that word potassium. It's going to matter a lot more later. Half a cup before bed is the right amount. Frozen works just as well as fresh. Frozen berries are often picked riper, so the pigment content can actually be higher. Number 2, cranberries. Almost everyone knows the urinary tract infection reputation. Fewer people know the kidney connection runs deeper than that. Cranberries contain a compound called an A-type proanthocyanidin that physically stops bacteria from latching onto the walls of your urinary tract. That's not folklore, that's the actual mechanism. It matters for your kidneys directly, because infections that travel upward from the bladder are one of the more underappreciated ways healthy kidneys take lasting damage. Every infection you prevent downstream is stress you spare upstream. Skip anything labeled cranberry cocktail. That's sugar water wearing a health halo. A small spoonful of unsweetened dried cranberries or a splash of pure unsweetened cranberry juice diluted with water is the move. A little goes a long way overnight. Quick pause here. If you've never had someone actually walk you through why your kidneys need specific support at night, instead of just drink water, cut the salt, that's exactly why I'm making this. Stick around because the next 4 fruits are where this gets genuinely interesting. Number 3. Red grapes. The color is the whole point here. Reach for the dark red and purple varieties. The skin is concentrated with resveratrol, one of the most studied molecules in aging research. For your kidneys, resveratrol helps calm inflammation and lets blood vessel walls soften and widen, exactly what you want as your body heads into that nighttime pressure dip. Relaxed vessels mean lower overnight pressure. Lower overnight pressure means less grinding on the filters. Red grapes also carry a small natural dose of melatonin, the same molecule your brain uses to signal sleep. A fruit that nudges you toward deeper sleep is a fruit that helps your blood pressure hit its full nighttime drop. Better sleep and healthier nighttime pressure really are 2 sides of the same coin. Grapes are sweeter than berries, so portion matters. About 10 to 15 in the evening, eaten whole with the skin on. Try freezing them. They take longer to eat, they feel like dessert, and they'll keep you out of the ice cream. Number 4. The apple. This one protects your kidneys through a side door almost nobody thinks about, your gut. An apple is one of the richest sources of a soluble fiber called pectin. When pectin reaches your gut, it feeds beneficial bacteria, and a well-nourished gut sends dramatically less inflammatory signaling into your bloodstream. Your kidneys filter everything in that blood. A chronically inflamed gut floods them with a steady, low-grade burden. The apple calms that upstream end of the pipeline. Researchers actually have a name for this, the gut-kidney axis, and it's one of the more active areas of kidney research right now. Apple skin also carries quercetin, an antioxidant shown to protect blood vessels. Peel the apple and you lose most of that benefit, so eat it whole. Like blueberries, apples are low in potassium. A medium apple in the evening, sliced, with real cinnamon, is ideal. Eat it about an hour before bed so the fiber has time to work. Every fruit so far has been doing quiet, steady work, cooling oxidative damage, easing pressure on the filters. The next 4 are where things get more interesting, including one that does something for your kidneys that nothing else on this list can do, and the one a lot of people have been told to avoid entirely. Before we get there, if this is helping, hit subscribe. Not for me, honestly. For the next person over 60 in your life managing blood pressure or blood sugar, the 2 biggest drivers of kidney strain, send them this. This is the conversation that usually gets skipped. Number 5. Tart cherries. This is the real surprise, because tart cherries do something none of the other fruits on this list can. Sweet cherries and tart cherries are a completely different category. Uric acid is a waste product your kidneys have to filter out every day, and when it runs too high, real damage follows. It forms the crystals behind gout. It's a leading cause of kidney stones, and elevated uric acid is now linked to faster kidney decline. Tart cherries have been shown to measurably lower uric acid in the blood. That's a direct favor to the organ doing the filtering. Tart cherries also happen to be one of the richest natural food sources of melatonin, the same molecule that helps you fall into deeper sleep, which in turn helps your blood pressure hit its full overnight dip. Lower uric acid and deeper sleep from one small fruit before bed. Use unsweetened, dried tart cherries, or a splash of pure tart cherry juice diluted with water about an hour before bed. Anything labeled cherry cocktail or cherry flavored is just sugar wearing the same halo as the cranberry cocktail. The real, unsweetened version is the one doing the work. Number 6. Strawberries. These belong here for the same core reasons as blueberries, with a few advantages of their own. Strawberries are dense with antioxidants, including ellagic acid, and a heavy dose of vitamin C. Together, those target the oxidative stress wearing down your filters, and they're genuinely anti-inflammatory on top of that. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the engines that pushes kidney decline forward year after year. Strawberries are mostly water and fiber, with very little sugar, which makes them one of the lightest things you can eat at night. Real antioxidant support without spiking your blood sugar or sitting heavy while you sleep. about half a cup to a cup in the evening, sliced on their own or with plain yogurt. Simple, light, and exactly what your filters want heading into that overnight window. Number 7. Pineapple. Almost nobody recommends this one for kidney health, and it's carrying a tool none of the others have. Pineapple is the only common fruit that contains a natural enzyme called bromelain, a genuine anti-inflammatory. It helps quiet the kind of widespread, low-grade inflammation that slowly wears down kidney filters, and it eases digestion, meaning less metabolic traffic reaching the kidneys overnight. Beyond bromelain, pineapple delivers vitamin C and more of the same antioxidant family we keep coming back to. It's also lower in potassium than most people assume for something this sweet and tropical, which puts it on the friendlier side for kidneys already working hard. The trade-off is sugar, so portion matters. About half a cup of fresh chunks in the evening is plenty. Fresh or frozen is far better than canned, because canned pineapple is almost always sitting in syrup that cancels out the benefit. Number 8. Citrus, the one with two sides. This is the surprise I mentioned at the start. Oranges and their relatives, the fruit a lot of people with kidney concerns have been told to avoid completely. I want to give you both sides honestly, because the protective side is real. Citrus fruits are among the best sources of a compound called citrate. When citrate passes through your kidneys, it binds to calcium in the urine and stops it from crystallizing into stones. Citrate is one of your body's own built-in defenses against kidney stones, and citrus replenishes it. On top of that, oranges are loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants. For someone with healthy kidneys or a history of stones, citrus can be genuinely protective. So why the warning? Citrus is high in potassium. For healthy kidneys, that's not a problem at all. They clear the extra easily, and potassium actually helps lower blood pressure. But for kidneys already in decline, later stage chronic kidney disease, or on dialysis, the kidneys can't clear potassium fast enough, and it builds up in the blood to genuinely dangerous levels. So here's the rule, plainly. If you have a kidney disease diagnosis, or you take a medication that affects potassium, don't add oranges or any high potassium fruit until you've asked your own doctor whether it's safe given your numbers. For most people watching this, citrus is a healthy choice. For some of you, it's exactly the wrong one, and only your own blood work tells you which group you're in. Where this list stops and where a doctor starts. I want to be really clear about something before the recipe. These fruits support kidneys that are healthy or under mild strain. They are not a treatment for kidneys already in serious trouble. If you're noticing swelling in your legs or around your eyes, foamy urine, blood in your urine, a sharp drop in how much you're going to the bathroom, or pain low in your back under the ribs, those need a doctor, and soon, not a fruit bowl. And if you already carry a kidney disease diagnosis, or take blood pressure or potassium medication, bring this list to your doctor before you change anything. Food is the foundation here. It's not the whole building. Let me paint a picture. This is a composite of the kind of story I hear a lot, not one specific person. Picture someone in their early 70s, active, walks every morning, always assumed kidney trouble happened to other people. Then a routine blood test shows the eGFR dipping just below the line where doctors start watching more closely. The evening routine, in a case like that, is often the quiet culprit, something salty and sweet late at night, right at the start of the kidney's recovery window. The fix usually isn't dramatic. Swap the late-night salt and sugar for something like blueberries and strawberries, or an apple with cinnamon, or unsweetened tart cherries an hour or so before bed. Add a short walk after dinner to help blood pressure come down before that overnight window opens. A year of that kind of change often doesn't reverse the number. Kidneys don't rebuild what they've lost, but it frequently holds the line. And at that age, holding the line is a real win. The 2-minute nighttime kidney blend. Here's the bonus. The simplest way to get the safest of these into one glass in about 2 minutes. Into a blender. A small handful of blueberries, about a quarter cup. 4 or 5 sliced strawberries. A splash of pure, unsweetened cranberry or tart cherry juice for the urinary and uric acid support. About half a cup of plain, unsweetened kefir or yogurt for the gut-kidney connection. A little water to loosen it up. Finish with a shake of real cinnamon. Blend until smooth. It's low in sugar, low in potassium, loaded with the antioxidants your kidneys want overnight, and it gives you something to reach for at night that works with your filters instead of against them. Drink it about an hour before bed. A couple of variations so it doesn't get boring. On a sweeter night, toss in a few frozen red grapes before blending. If your stomach runs sensitive, skip the kefir and use water with the berries instead. And if you don't feel like blending anything, a small bowl of blueberries and strawberries with a spoon of plain yogurt does the same core job. The tool here was never the blender. The tool is the swap, replacing the late-night salt and sugar with the fruit. I kept citrus out of this recipe on purpose, for the potassium reason we already covered. If your kidneys are healthy and you've been cleared, keep citrus around as a separate daytime addition, not a nighttime one. 5 things to do tonight. Here's exactly what to do, starting tonight. 1. Close your kitchen earlier. Make your last food one of these fruits instead of something salty or processed, so your kidneys start the recovery window with less to clean up. 2. Pick one low-potassium fruit you probably already have. Blueberries, strawberries, or an apple. A small portion, about an hour before bed. 3. If you want the full effect, make the nighttime blend. Blueberries, strawberries, a splash of cranberry or tart cherry, plain kefir, cinnamon. 4. Add a 10-minute walk after dinner. It helps bring blood pressure down before the overnight window opens, and blood pressure is the single biggest lever you hold over your kidney health. 5. If you carry a kidney disease diagnosis, or take blood pressure or potassium medication, write down one question for your doctor this week. Which fruits are actually safe with my current potassium levels? That one question tells you exactly which items on this list are yours to use. If this was useful, the most helpful thing you can do is 2 things. Subscribe so the next one finds you, and drop a comment telling me which fruit you're actually going to try tonight. I read them, and it helps me know what to cover next. And if there's someone in your life managing blood pressure or diabetes, send them this one. It might be the conversation their last appointment didn't have time for. There's one more thing worth knowing, a single marker on a standard blood panel that can flag kidney strain years before creatinine ever moves, and most doctors won't bring it up unless you ask. That's next time, what it's called, how to request it, and what to do if yours is off. Subscribe so you don't miss it.